Hello everybody and welcome back to the Bullion boys. Today we have for you not bullion, this is a numismatic coin. This is a 1615 James I silver shilling. It weighs about 5.5 grams and it's about 92% silver. Anybody who wants to correct me in the comments, feel free. So King James was the first king of England, Scotland and Ireland. Before each country had its own king, and he was the first king to unite the countries to get what we today as Great Britain. So he was the 6th King James of Scotland, but the first King James of England, and therefore he is referred to as King James. Something else interesting about King James is that he wrote a book called Demonology. Demonology is a book he wrote about summoning spirits, witchcraft, talking about coming from the other side, a little bit like Game of Thrones, but less dragons. It was written as a non-fiction book, so at the time it was based on his true values and beliefs. I'm sure he had some help. Back to this coin. So this coin is well over 400 years old now. It has at the top, I don't know if you can see there, this is on the west side of the obverse of the coin. Somebody has punctured a hole in it. One can only suspect that that hole was punctured in this coin to wear it as a pendant in a necklace. There is also a hole there. One can only assume that it was an accidental striking that somebody did a long time ago. This hole here looks fairly recent, so I would say that that hole was put in this coin within the last 100 years. The wear inside the hole is relatively shiny compared to the rest of the coin, so therefore I am to believe that the puncture on that side of the coin, on the west side of the coin, is of modern nature. Another interesting thing about this coin is that when you turn the coin over, you expect the puncture mark that I've just talked to you about to be on the west side of the coin. However, it is on the north side of the coin, which means that the obverse and the reverse are at a 90-degree axis rather than a 180-degree axis, or on the same axis, which is unusual for a British coin. I know the American Eagles, they flip over. Many other world coins, the obverse and the reverse flip over, but in the UK for some reason we keep them on the same axis, but this is not the case with this coin. I don't know whether that's a striking error specifically with this coin or whether it was designed to do that. I can't find any information about it online. If anybody can give me some information, that would be absolutely brilliant. So this coin is a shilling, so it's the equivalent of it's the equivalent of 12 old pennies. There was 200 and how many pennies in a pound, Billy? 240 old pennies in a pound. So as I'm sure you can imagine, it's decimalised at 100 now. You would be quite well off in 1615 if you had access to silver shillings. So I can only imagine the hands that this coin has been through in its time. It's fairly worn, so one can say that it was probably not buried or dug up. I would say that this coin has been in someone's possession for the last 400 years, purely based on the fact that it is fairly worn. We paid it was up for 55 UK pounds. We paid £50 for it, so we got £5 off. That was just a haggle that we did just based on the coin's condition. However, it is still absolutely lovely. I don't know if anybody can see that line across the coin there that goes over King James I's head. It looks like that's been caught in something in its time, and that's a mark that's been left, but it isn't on the other side. So these coins would have been hammered, so there would have been a silver ball or blank put into some form of plate, and then the coin master, or whatever you called them back then, who fucking knows, would have struck it with a hammer, which is why they weren't always accurate and not always centered, and why they're not always fully round like today's coins. Today's coins are struck with a press and dies, and this would have been hammered. So the design would have been on the hammer, and the person who struck the coin would have hit the metal and left this imprint in it with a hammer. We don't really know too much about this coin, so it'd be really good if anybody could come into our comments and tell us a little bit about the coin. It is tested as silver. It looks fairly old, and it doesn't look like the aging is forced. Therefore, I am to assume that it is genuine. It weighs the amount that it should. It looks very, very, very worn. If somebody had faked one of these coins, it would be in very much better condition. Very much better. It would have been in a much better condition than it is here. So one can only surmise that this is a genuine James I silver shilling from 1615. I am led to believe that this is the third bust on a shilling of James I. However, I can be corrected in the comments if somebody knows more than I do. And if somebody could tell me, oh, that makes sense, X11, 12 pennies, 1 shilling. I wondered why it had 12 on it, but now it has literally just clicked as I was about to ask if somebody could tell me why. So the X11 is the Roman numerals for 12. This is worth 12 pennies, so one can only surmise that that means 12 pennies, which is a shilling or an old shilling. The shilling was a coin used right up until 1971, when the pound was decimalised. So quite a lot of history for shillings. But again, absolutely beautiful coin. Lots of history. Lots to learn about it. So please, if you know more than we do, feel free to troll us and tell us we're wrong. But please, please, please back it up with some evidence so that we can learn more. And that's the Broke Bullion Boys. Peace.